So a while back, I had the ambition to pretty much, I was thinking, I'm going to make my own feature film. I'm going to do it
Hmm.
myself. I'm going to write a script, and then I'm
Yeah.
going to get behind a camera. I'm going to work with just a few actors. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible, but also make it as cool as possible. So when people watch it, they're going to be like, oh man, one guy did this whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I also didn't have any resources at the time that were really I could really rely on.
Which film was this?
This was a film called Handled.
Okay, that's one I thought.
Yeah. And so I actually did. I did some research. I made sure that my script was feature film length. I wrote the whole thing out, all the dialogue. I casted quite a few people. I was making calls to people I knew, people I didn't know, and I started filming scenes. And I will say the first few scenes I did worked out. I was like, yeah, this is working. If I can just keep this up and get through the whole thing, then we'll be good. There was a few things that had loose ends, so I was saving. It was pretty much kind of like a Street Fighter, um, almost like Breaking Bad, not drug related, but kind of going downhill as character development, and then kind of a salvation, or not salvation's a bad word. My words all over the place tonight. Kind of a redemptive story at the
Yeah.
end to help kind of have an uptick, and but it was revolved around this Street Fighter, and pretty much I wrote the script. I got the main people cast. The guy that was playing the lead character, Noah Gordon, he was really awesome. He has a natural talent to act. And I was starting to film scenes, and I was going to do these fighting scenes closer to the end. Let those be like the last stuff I get to, right? And I was going along, and then there was also like a lumberjack job element to the story. And I started noticing after a few days of production that certain people weren't super reliable to show up on set. Not Noah, not a couple of these other people, but some other people that were involved, right? And there was quite a few characters, which I'll circle back around and tell you that's was my biggest mistake almost.
There was so many characters.
Yeah. So there's this one day we were filming early in the morning. I got permission from a guy at a lumber yard to film there as a location. And I had set everything up. I got confirmation from everybody. I get there really early in the morning. Noah Gordon, the lead, shows up to play the role, to act, and one extra that I had hired, well, I didn't hire, but that I had casted to be there, who was interested. He showed up. I hadn't met him before. And
Did you ever talk to him after that?
No, I don't even know his name. And that's the thing. I'll explain this a little bit about my feelings about it once I finish. But we start, waiting. Time's running out. We're already getting into the day a little bit. We're supposed to start, 30, 40 minutes before. And I already had a plan B in the back of my head. I said, you know what? I'm trying to stay out of this film as far as me acting, right? But if somebody doesn't show or is not reliable or I can't get someone cast, I'll play a role.
Yeah.
Well, the person that was playing this one role ended up not showing up, which really bummed me out, and we had to get filming because we were filming a good bit that day. And actually, we were having to film a good bit because things were getting put off because of other days of getting behind or people not showing up. And we started filming a scene, and I was just going to act. So I would set up the camera, I'd roll, I'd get the focus as close as I possibly could guess with getting Noah to stand in like where I would be standing. And we filmed a scene with just me and him. And then we got to needing to film the next scene, which required more, like 2 people at least that needed to be there. And no one was showing up. And I tried to call, and I didn't get any answer. And at this point, I started to feel like this is not happening because I'm at the breaking point almost. I had just moved to Columbia, South Carolina,
Oh,
and
wait,
I was
you were in
coming.
Columbia at that time?
Yeah, I was coming. I was driving up to Rock Hill area to film to get it finished.
Okay.
And so I had made a weekend trip to come up to that area to film Saturday, all day Saturday. all day
Columbia's like
Sunday.
an hour
An hour and a half drive. Yeah. And it didn't happen. That production day didn't happen. I knew because things were getting put off that if we had put off any more, that it just wasn't going to work out. And I remember talking to Noah and saying, hey, I know we've already done like 5 or 6 days of shooting, not full days, but, periods of time on specific days to film scenes and get stuff filmed. And we had done so much already. And it was kind of at that point where I just said, man, I don't think this is going to work. I don't.
Yeah.
Things are already behind. I already took the place of playing a role myself, which I didn't want to do, but I did. And then other people aren't showing
How
up.
long after that? What was did you do Path to Crimson after that, or was it The Hike?
The next thing after that was Path to Crimson, that of personal projects.
Well, yeah, of personal, because I remember you were DP on a bigger shoot that didn't turn out good, and I know you don't like talking about it, but
that's my
Christian film.
second thing. That's my second thing. Don't.
Okay, if you want to talk about that, we can get into that as your second thing. But yeah, I remember this film. I didn't help much with the first, I would say like first half of the handled film, and then I remember coming and helping for a couple shoots it was like an older gentleman talking to Noah Gordon. I was there that day, and then I was there the day that one of our actors, or the 2 actors, didn't show up, and it kind of just fell apart.
You were there
day.
at the lumber yard that day.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Do you
I
not
don't
remember that?
No, I don't remember you being there, probably because it was so upsetting to me.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't want to give myself like props and say I did anything, but like I was there telling you like, hey, you need to just kill this project. You got to start over and do something different because this is not working.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear why you thought I should kill it. But basically, I had to tell Noah that we're not going to finish it. I had to tell an actor named Alyssa, who had already filmed all of her scenes, that we weren't going to finish. But I went ahead and edited the scenes we had filmed together, and they are here on the channel that you can watch way down at the beginning, pretty much. And and we didn't. There was more script that we needed to film than there was that we filmed. Yeah. And it was upsetting because I was like, man, this is like such a failure on my end. What was it about? What was it that I did that made it such a failure? And I think a couple things, and we've talked about this before, but a big mistake that I had to learn through writing a script, through spending a lot of time and effort to see this not work, was that you need people around you who can handle certain stuff. And
that's
that
what I was gonna say. I think it failed.
Yeah. So it was because it was just me, and so the reason that I got such a big head about I can do this on my own, I can make it work because I don't have much help at this point. Then if I do this, then I'm gonna get help. People are gonna see this cool project, and they're gonna want to be with me on the next one.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen.
So I know for me, when I knew it was going to fail, and I think this is why future projects have not failed. I'm not giving myself as much props, but like you said, you need other people. I didn't help with Path to Crimson after that. I didn't do much for Path to Crimson at all. But like I said, I did help with this kind of the second half of shooting. And I remember, like, the night before we filmed at the lumber yard, which was the last day, we kind of went over the script, and I kind of was like, hey, you don't have enough that you're going to be able to film. We actually, I'm not 100% sure, but I think we were trying to cut out some of the script to make the film shorter. So we wouldn't have to have as many actors.
Yeah.
But I remember, and not saying that I'm the one who holds everything together, but kind of our dynamic when we create films is I take a lot of, not that I'm the producer, but I take the kind of a producer job in a way, coming behind you, and I'm very detailed oriented. I mean, like, okay, so we're gonna shoot. We need this, and this, and usually I come behind and I tell you, be like, hey, we need all these things. Do we have them?